going on, guys? Chad here. Just want to give a update what I'm up to. We are never throw stuff away. That's just all I gotta say. At least the stuff that you can manage organizing. I'm terribly bad at organizing stuff, so I can be a pain in the ass for saving stuff. But all this, this looks like garbage, but I'm actually gonna put that. We're digging a trench of drain tile out to our pond, and it's the overflow for the Graywater planters, and it's also the overflow for the cisterns, and it will also connect to our drain tile in the back of our house. So we are going to use that to put across in the trench so that it doesn't freeze in the winter. Now it's like 3 feet deep, so it really shouldn't freeze in theory, but this is just extra precaution. We have it, why not throw it in there? I'm also going to use some plastic bottles for basically as a replacement for river rock for the drain tile, because it's a sleeved slotted drain tile that it's like a French drain tile, whatever, with the sock on it, with the slits on it. I don't know exactly what it's called. But anyways, we are back in the Earthship. Been a long few months. I feel like we have reached over a hump, and there's still some issues going on, but I'm going to focus on some things that we're doing right now. Got the humidity down to like 60% in here, which is amazing. It currently is 71% humidity in here. It's starting to dry out. It's the fall. The sun, one thing I noticed is the sun is starting to shoot into the Earthship. This is actually the warmest it's gotten all year, which is funny because this is not the hottest time of the year. Like June, July, and August are the hottest times of the year. And it's funny, it's just September and it's warm as heck in here. Now, this is obviously going to change once we get this layer of greenhouse in. The sun is also beating on this EPDM liner, which is black, and it's heating that up. There's a lot of external issues external things that are causing this to heat up that will not be the case in the future. But, these rooms here have a third layer glass, so I would expect this to be super comfortable. That said, I'm going to take you to our Graywater planters. I am filling these things up with water currently so that we are testing for leaks. So these are the 2 cells. There's going to be 4 total cells. We're getting closer and closer to getting above that drain over there. So I needed to get above that just to make sure there's no leaks. So I will test this today and look for tomorrow to draw a line on the thing overnight to see if the line has dropped at all, the water level. So that's for that. That's it for that. So I feel like we can continue plastering these tire walls because the humidity is a lot lower. So we will fill these in this weekend, hopefully, with gravel. There's a layer of larger rocks in the inlet and outlet where the pipes are. And then there will be a layer of gravel, and then 2 inches of sand, and then 1 foot to 1.5 foot of dirt there. We'll probably put a liner above that, like a mesh liner, so that the sand separates from the rock. Now, I don't know how that's going to play out because, obviously the roots need to go through there to get down to the water and things like that. So I don't know if we're going to puncture holes into that or if the roots just grow through that. We will see. But you can always poke holes through a liner, but you can't put the liner back in after the fact. So, or at least it would be extremely difficult. So that's kind of my thinking on that. Quick note, peat moss. There's a shortage of peat moss. Crazy, huh? Those are the last 4 bags at Home Depot. I tried to get them at Menards, and they didn't have them at Menards. they're all out, and the suppliers said they are not supplying anymore. I don't know what that's all about. But speaking of supply chain, let's go into a little thought about the economy and what I think is about to happen. By no means I am no expert, but some of this is just common sense. Now, I really think what's going on now with prices is that we're going into like an inflation problem whereby businesses are now being stretched thin because wages have increased dramatically because of the labor force shortage. Now, the U.S. administration has said the unemployment rate is at a like record low. How anyone believes that, I don't know, but the market doesn't care about our feelings. It just is going to do what it's going to do. So my interpretation of the market is that there's a labor shortage, and if you want anyone to work anywhere, you got to pay them $20 an hour or more to get them. But the problem is inflation is eating these people's wages away, and it's also eating these businesses' profits away. And businesses can't pay employees if they don't have profits. Businesses can't pay their suppliers if they don't have profits. It's a daisy chain. And what I think is going to happen is some people are going to start getting stiffed in payments. Not the employees probably, but the suppliers. And it's going to be a credit malfunction because there is no credit. There's no liquidity in the system right now. I mean, despite the amount of money printing the Fed has done, there is no liquidity in the system, or at least it's very tight. So what I think is bound to happen, and I don't know how long it'll take, 3 to 6 months, maybe even sooner, is businesses are not going to pay each other. Banks are going to get, people are not going to be able to pay their mortgages. There's going to be a lot of foreclosures and a lot of businesses that need to liquidate inventory. And when they liquidate inventory, they will have to slash their prices to get rid of that inventory. And so I believe that we're going to go into a mini deflation, maybe even wild, who knows. But we're going to probably go into a deflation. However, there's a war going on. It's a lot different than 08. In 08, there was a supply. There was not a supply problem. Businesses had an abundance. They just didn't have customers because of the markets were deflating. This time around, there are shortages of everything. And I mean everything. I went to the store to get this peat moss. It doesn't exist. I'm looking for Portland cement. I'm having a problem getting that. Wire that I used to be able to get at a store instantaneously is now on you need to special order some of this stuff. So we're going to have a period where there's going to be a battle between slashing prices of goods and services like couches, cars, everything that's already assembled and ready to go. All that stuff is going to collapse in price. But there's a supply shortage problem. So goods, the materials are in short supply. Technology is in short supply. Microchips are in short supply. So that's going to free up. It's going to be a weird situation where volatility is going to pick up. And I think it's going to be very confusing in the near-term future until they start printing money again. And when they start printing money, I would look out, because for now, I'm just, you got to wait for that signal. The liquidity is a problem. I don't think we can go into hyperinflation until they turn the money spigots on and the goods and services in this economy is just dwindling in supply. Raw materials are going east. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. There's a big reset coming, or it already isn't underway. Materials and the pricing system is probably going to go east. think of how the Fed and the Working Group on Financial Markets probably slams prices of commodities and things like that. Look at the nickel market. The nickel market blew up, in April, May, and it got reset. People got kicked out of legitimate contracts in London, and it just, every time this stuff happens, like the silver market is an absolute joke. The gold market is an absolute joke in the West. The way that it's priced is just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And when you get prices wrong, scarcity comes. That's when scarcity, there's really no scarcity. It's price. Price solves scarcity. And that's the honest truth. And so this pricing system is going to go into a new currency. 100% believe that. It's just not viable in the US. I'm sorry, but the corruption is just out of control here. And the pricing system, the pricing mechanism to essentially lower the price of commodities here and make the whole world just give us their, print money and buy our debt. It's ending. It's going to end. It's mathematically impossible to happen. Now, this may take a while, but the transition to me seems to be rapidly approaching. This has been going on for 10, 15 years, and it's the speed of which this is happening it's starting to show, because the prices of everything and the scarcity is starting to show. It's like that stuff, the materials are going somewhere else. People aren't working here. The raw materials are being priced somewhere else, and the whole commodity market it's shifting. It's totally shifting. And look out for that and be aware, because when they start turning the money spigot back on and printing the money, when our stock market goes down and everything else goes down with it, look out, because they are going to print us into a hyperinflation at some point. The currency will be switched out. Something is going to happen, something big. So just look out for that. And, who knows how long this takes. It takes a lot longer than you ever think, but it's probably coming. And so it's something to be on the radar.